Liz is out, celebrating her birthday. I'm not included in the fun, of course. That suits me fine. Nice to have the house to myself. I needed that cold bath. These hot summer evenings bring it all back. My first and last holiday with my late parents in sunny South Africa. We stayed with my aunt and cousin Glenda in their house, which was more of a stately home, really. I'd seen one or two photographs of Glenda, but I wouldn't have been able to pick her out in an identity parade. And although we were first cousins, and we were both 16, we seemed like strangers. I remember the excitement of seeing this beauty emerging from the Olympic-sized swimming pool. She covered her flesh-coloured swimsuit with a royal blue bathrobe, tossed her luscious goldy locks, and winked at me, her bright green eyes twinkling like kryptonite. I felt sorry for my lonely cousin Glenda, my widowed aunt knocking about in that huge mansion. They had no visitors. No wonder Auntie had been so keen on us paying a visit. And it was gloriously idyllic for the trio of golden oldies who hung out together, lazily sipping cocktails on the veranda. They spent hours driving round Table Mountain or visiting the flea markets. Meanwhile, Glenda and I were inseparable. We did everything together, catching up on all those lost cousin years. She even taught me how to swim. Young Nippy was one of the teenage African servants. He always stood under a jacaranda tree in the distance. Poor Nippy. Usually smiling or whistling, desperate to join us. One sultry afternoon, a bit like today, young Nippy peeled off his shirt and wiped the sweat off his brow with it. I thought he was going to faint. "Call Nippy down to the pool," I said. "Milo Mackintosh, are you crazy?" Glenda said. "None of the servants swim here." "But he's melting like a chalk ice," I protested. "No," Glenda said. "He's always looking at me with those penetrating eyes. I don't trust him." "I feel much safer with you here." She didn't really have any friends, Glenda. She was a loner, a bit of a pariah, like yours truly. "They're all jealous of me at school," she said, next day, as we listened to glam rock in her powder pink bedroom. "I'm a spoilt little princess. I have everything." "Except a boyfriend," I blurted out. Glenda turned up the record player. I had a sudden urge to sing along with Mark Bolan. Glenda said I sounded like a girl, and she laughed at my choir boy singing voice. 20th Century Boy was a preamble to our little skirmish, our frenzied fumble. I couldn't have her thinking that way about me, questioning my masculinity. Male pride, you know. I had to show her I was on the threshold of manhood. Young love. That's what I like to call it. Young love. But Glenda read more into it. Hysterical she was, rebuffing my advances. I had to silence her. I couldn't risk her telling the family. And it was so convenient. I often wonder if young Nip is still behind bars for 2 crimes he didn't commit. Suffocation and, well, no, it wasn't rape. It was young love, yes, between 2 cousins. It's okay between cousins. In my book, it certainly isn't incest. "Is that you, Liz? I've just had a soak." You know, only this morning Liz was banging on about taking in a lodger. Jason Brett, the policeman. They have cosy little chats about how to make this house more securical. Yes, she adores Jason Brett. But I don't relish their beady eyes on me. You see, Liz doesn't trust me anymore. She's suspicious, edgy, not a happy bunny. Oh, she knows. Oh, yes. She hasn't said anything to my face, but I know she's got my card marked. But Liz should have been more careful. See, recently I overheard her talking about Glenda. Now, she never knew Glenda, and yet she mentioned her for the very first time. And I caught Liz red-handed snooping about in the study, my den of secrets. I watched her from the doorway. I observed her as she dragged out my old Puma sports bag from under the desk. She was as jittery as a Geiger counter as she examined its macabre contents. Glenda's engraved digital watch, her signet ring, her lock of blonde hair, even the filthy plaster she had on her index finger on that fateful day. And a note. The unfinished confession of my crimes committed May the 15th, 1979. Incidentally, Liz doesn't like me calling her Liz, but I can't bring myself to call her Mum, even though she's been my bloody stepmother ever since she married my dad, which was many moons ago. I suppose in hindsight I shouldn't have confessed all to my real mum about Glenda. I wasn't to know the shock would kill her, was I? My wicked stepmother Liz also found pills under the bed, tranquilizers I can't bring myself to take. It's amazing what we nurses can smuggle out of a hospital. I've left Liz's birthday present in the boot of the car. But she won't be needing a bottle of Penhaligon's Bluebell scent where she's going. I think the time is drawing near to give that bitch as many shocks as it takes in case she opens her motor mouth to Jason the copper. Down in a minute, Liz. We're going on a long drive. I've got a surprise for you.